Today's stories include PlayStation launches a new studio, Destiny 2 is getting a Star Wars expansion, and EA sets release windows for Battlefield and Skate. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. I nailed it! Today. Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. I am Andy, and I'm joined by Bless.
Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, Bless. How did volleyball go last night?
It actually went really well. It was our last game of the season, and we ended with a W.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Wow.
It was fantastic. Thank you.
How do you track your own personal achievements in volleyball?
You don't. You just had to track them mentally. I had somebody ask me how many points did I score?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
And I couldn't even tell you that people scored points in volleyball, individually. You know, for me, it's all a team effort. That's not me bullshitting. Legitimately, I was like, if I hit the ball to the other side, for me, it's more about the other team failing than me scoring a point.
Gotcha. Okay.
I guess if I got a spike or something, then I'd be like, oh man, okay, I got that point, but that's not happening.
Has anybody on the squad ever done that thing where it looks like they're going to do a big spike and they kind of hesitate and just they just kind of fart one over, and the other team's not expecting that. I love.
I try honestly. I try that every single time because I'm not tall enough to where I can reliably get a spike. I've had maybe one or two this season where I was like, oh dude, I was in it. It was spicy, fucking time, fucking hit right down on their side of the field. Usually my tactic is to go I'm about to go for a spike and then do a side hit. I'll tap it lightly and kind of angle it.
Directional.
Yeah, like a directional tap. Yeah, like a finesse shot in soccer. So that's what I try to do sometimes. But I'll be honest, this is our league, our team level, right? We're playing in the recreational league. They have intermediate leagues. They have advanced leagues and stuff. We're at the very bottom. And the reason being is that we don't have, I think, the teamwork down yet. We've gotten better and better every season. This current season, we brought on my friend Meg, and Meg has been commander as far as whipping people into shape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Meg played a lot of high school volleyball, and so she knows how to position. She knows how. She's been training us up a little bit to get better at jumping, get better at positioning. All right, when you see me going for the set, I need you to step back. That way that you can step up when the ball's in the air and jump up and do the thing. Right, she's been training us in that way. The problem is that people get too excited. The ball gets to our side of the field or side of the court, and they automatically just want to hit it back. And I'm like, nah, man. We got to do the 3 hits. We got to trust each other. We got to pass back and forth.
There's 3 hits there for a reason.
Exactly. You got to bump, set, spike. Granted, we won. We had a good time last night. We won, but also our score is it's 6 games in a season. Our overall score is 2-4. We got only 2 wins this season. We started with a win. We ended with a win. We had some really close matches during the season, but I think we could have done way better overall if we slowed down and had a bit more teamwork. But we're getting there. We're getting better every season.
To continue the volleyball talk, we know that's why everyone's here. Have you ever taken photos of the volleyball matches on your Google phone? And does Google Photos ever remind you about the day that you took those volleyball photos and name it bump, set, spike? They'll remind you.
Is there that feature? I don't have a Google phone. I have an Android, but it's
because I have Android too. But I mean, it's good. It's just do that? It's just weird to me that my phone, obviously our phones are very smart and they know that shit. But I went to go watch my nieces play volleyball and I took photos of them. And every once in a while, my phone will be like, "Hey, remember this day when you took these photos? Bump, set, spike." I was like, "How do you know they're playing volleyball? You see them playing volleyball. You know that's volleyball. It's freaky. It's really freaky.
I don't get those from my phone. I still get the Facebook memories.
I don't like it.
I hate the Facebook memories.
Me too.
To be like, here's this fucked up thing you said in 2010. Yeah, I was a different man. I was 16 years old. I didn't know what I was saying.
You were really angry at a Best Buy customer. This is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with a Kinda Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, and now Spotify and Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube SuperChats as we go. Housekeeping, number 1 on the list. Happy birthday, Snowbike Mike.
Wow.
The most important one on the list.
Happy birthday, Snowbike Mike. It always kills me with the one smoke machine.
Yeah, unfortunate. Also, remember, Greg is rocking PAX East Thursday, and you need to be a part of it. At 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific, Greg's the keynote speaker kicking off PAX East, and we'll be doing a fireside chat with Final Fantasy and Expedition 33's Ben Starr and his brother Joshua. At 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time, Greg's hosting the Mafia the Old Country panel with the devs, and if you're in Boston and need to be there, if you aren't, I'm sorry, I fucked up. I fucked up the whole sentence.
Early.
I was doing so good.
You were doing so good. It's also one of those housekeepings that's very wordy. Now all
the time changes. If you're in Boston, you'll know what time it is.
If you're in Boston, you need to be there.
Come the fuck on, Greg.
Show up. Or stay home.
It'll be streamed to the live channel.
Don't let me tell you what
live
to do.
channel on Twitch.
And then with that, just so people are in the know, Games Daily on Twitch and YouTube tomorrow. Then we will be off of YouTube at 11 to stream the Mafia panel on Twitch. And then we will be back on both YouTube and Twitch at noon to do a Gamescast.
My Death Stranding 2 preview.
Tomorrow.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. We can say that.
We'll finally hear about it.
I
haven't talked to Blessing about like a damn thing about this. Well, I overheard some stuff. I guess I did ask some stuff.
Yeah.
You told me a decent amount,
Yeah.
but I'm excited to like get the full lowdown.
He's actually told you everything.
Yeah,
I told you the ending.
You're about to witness history. Snowbike Mike, the birthday boy, the most athletic man west of the Mississippi, is embarking on his most daring quest yet, going step for step with Sam Porter Bridges in a literal marathon stream on a treadmill. Come join Roger and Mike this Friday as they attempt to do a full playthrough of Death Stranding 1 through the weekend, but they can only do it with your support. Will Mike and Roger break this treadmill and have to drive to Andy's home at 1 a.m. to borrow his? Find out Friday, twitch.tv/kindafunnygames.
Who do you think is the most athletic man west of the Mississippi? Because I'm going with LeBron James.
You know, if we're talking, I'm sure there's a lot of like track stars and long distance runners, but if you're going totality skills, LeBron's not a bad one to pick.
Yeah,
Steph Curry, however, runs about like 12 miles every game or something crazy like that. He's just always on the run.
Sure.
You know, you got to have that crazy stamina for that.
Yeah, but put LeBron James in the ring with Steph Curry, he's folding him up.
Oh, of course.
He's folding him up.
If we're talking,
it's like totality.
If it's like a strength, jumping
overall
high,
athletic.
yeah.
People in chat are saying Otani.
Oh, yeah.
Shohei Otani from baseball.
It's not bad.
I feel like Otani doesn't
What
even...
team does he play for?
The Dodgers. I feel like he just doesn't even work out. Otani just kind of built that way.
He just shows up.
Yeah, that's why baseball is great. You don't have to do shit. Just show up.
Deion Sanders is a good one, yeah. What about Bo Jackson?
Where does Bo Jackson live? Is he west of Mississippi?
I don't know, actually.
What about Rampage Jackson?
He's west of he's on the west side of the hemisphere. You know?
Yeah, I guess at what point do we stop being west of the Mississippi? like
everything's kind of
like if we all believe that the Earth is a sphere, wink, wink. Like, aren't we all west of the Mississippi? Think about that.
It's always a belated birthday. You always have an early birthday, you know, at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about that.
Great points. Great points. Remember, we're an 11-person business, all about live talk shows. Today, after Kind of Funny Games Daily, you'll get the Gamescast, which is the Clair Obscur Expedition 33 Spoilercast.
Woo!
Super pumped about that.
Oh, is Simone Biles west of the Mississippi? Because she's athletic as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Simone Biles could probably jump up and like touch the Empire State Building.
I was gonna say like touch the top of the video wall, but that's not tall enough.
After Gamescast is more of the Nick Nuzlocke, and if you're a Kind of Funny member, today's Gregway is coming from Snowbike Mike, the birthday boy. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney Twining. Today, we're brought to you by Imperial, Aura Frames, and BetterHelp, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 7 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
And I got beef.
Let me hear it.
Benny B. Good in chat says, y'all just listed b-ball players. 100% any hockey player. What do you think is the more athletic sport between hockey and basketball?
They're the toughest players.
You think if we rallied up every hockey player and rallied up every basketball player?
NFL's up there too, man.
Are you
NFL's
talking about
winning.
in a fight? Because half of being in hockey is beating the shit out of each other, bless.
Yeah, on ice. That's like an advantage. You know what I mean? Put them on land.
Things are slippery.
Put them on regular land.
Put them on a regular.
Derrick
If anything,
Henry.
it's harder to throw a punch on ice because you don't have solid footing.
Yeah, but now they're not used to the solid ground.
I don't know if that's how that works.
They keep accounting for the slipperiness of the floor. Yeah, I mean, you put football players in the group, and like football players are taking out everybody.
Derrick Henry, I would put up there. Derrick Henry is like 6'3", 280 running back. It's one of those things, Blessing, where in the NFL, when a running back hits the age of 27, you're like, all right, and we're going to sunset you.
Yeah.
You know, like if they're 28, 29, way past their prime. If they're 30, it's like, goddamn, how are you still here? Derrick Henry's kind of around there, but is still like this dude is just unbelievable. Bring up a picture of Derrick Henry if you can. This man is a machine, Barrett.
Bring him up. Also bring up Derek Jeter. Let's look at all the sports.
Derek Jeter, yeah.
Let's talk about all the athletes.
Nah, baseball athletes you cannot put in the list.
No?
No.
Like they don't stack up?
I mean, they just don't work out that way. Derrick Henry is a fucking monster.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm looking at that picture with his arms out.
He will just like run down anybody. He's insane. He's the guy he's the running back. If he's coming at you, you don't want to be in the way.
Now, a lot of people saying Jeter isn't west of the Mississippi. Like I mentioned earlier.
If you keep traveling.
If we all believe that the earth is sphere, wink, wink, then technically we're all west of the Mississippi.
Exactly. I don't know why the wink, wink keeps
Open
happening.
your third eye.
The wink, wink keeps on happening.
Open your third eye.
This is revealing a lot of it.
Story number 1.
These are jokes.
A brand new studio has opened for PlayStation Studios. They are teamLFG, and this story comes from Herman Holtz himself at the PS blog. Today, I'm thrilled to officially announce a new studio in the PlayStation Studios family. teamLFG originated at Bungie, but has also rallied developers from across the industry to bring to life an ambitious incubation project that I'm very excited about. The studio is now fully formed and ready to be introduced to the world. I'll let teamLFG introduce themselves properly and give a tiny glimpse of what they've been working on. Quote, "Hello, world. It's a delight to meet you, and we're very grateful to be joining PlayStation Studios. Our studio is headquartered in Bellevue, Washington, with team members working both on-site and remotely through the U.S. and Canada. We're a team composed not just of industry veterans who have shipped titles like Destiny, Halo, League of Legends, Fortnite, Roblox, and Rec Room, but also industry newcomers with fresh creative perspectives and skills. We're passionate about exceptional action-based gameplay, moment-to-moment game feel, and richly social virtual worlds. The LFG in Team LFG stands for Looking for Group. I'm sure it does. We are driven by, if you west of the Mississippi,
west of the Mississippi means looking
we
for
are
group.
driven by a mission to create games where players can find friendship, community, and belonging. We want our players to feel excited when they log on to discover their teammates already hanging out online. We want our players to recognize familiar names and to make myths and memes out of each other. We want our players to love remembering the one time they pulled off that play and change the whole story of the match. As we say on the team, that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff.
That's the good stuff.
They say it all with D's, too.
Yeah, they were all spelled with D's. We will make immersive multiplayer worlds propelled by action games that players can learn, play, and master for countless hours. We want to build our games with our communities, inviting players to be part of our development process through early access playtests. It's critical that we stay nimble enough to react to player feedback, not just in our lead up to launch, but throughout live service as we continue to grow the game and community for years to come. Our first game is a team-based action game that draws inspiration from fighting games, platformers, MOBAs, life sims, and frog-type games. Players will inhabit a lighthearted comedic world set in a brand new mythic science fantasy universe. We can't wait to reveal more. Till then, we'll do our best. Thanks for reading. Team LFG. Lot to break down here, Bless.
A lot to break down here. I want to shift to an article from Forbes written by Paul Tassi from January of 2025. The article is titled, "More Details Leak About Bungie's Gummy Bears Live Game for Sony." It reads like this. During the last round of Bungie layoffs, Sony carved out a portion of the studio to continue work on Gummy Bears, now under Sony directly, and I suppose that makes this group technically not Bungie anymore. But without a name, and previously developed under Bungie, here we are. And now we have some new details about Gummy Bears thanks to an exclusive report from the Game Post. And I can corroborate at least some of this myself based on what I've heard. The highlights. The biggest point of news is that it will feature a Smash Bros. Type percentage damage system, which, yes, does involve being knocked back further at a higher percent, and the potential to fall off the map. I'd heard there were some similarities to Smash Bros., but I didn't realize they were going all the way like this. Hopefully it's not violating any Nintendo patents, according to Nintendo at least. Next bullet point, but at its core, the game is a team-based MOBA, not a fighting game, which will have support, attack, and defense classes. It also may have souped up towers that aren't as static with the ability to move or get different abilities. The vibe of the game is described as lo-fi and appealing to a much younger demographic than Bungie's past games like Halo and Destiny or future game Marathon, but also younger than something like League of Legends or Dota, it seems. This aligns with the concept art we've already seen for the project previously. The report also reinforces what I've heard, that even within a beleaguered Bungie, the game is viewed as very fun internally, the most enjoyable project in incubation. Not that I've heard Marathon is bad or anything, but Gummy Bears is the one that keeps being brought up as going great.
The games can be fun with friends at all times.
At all times.
You know, you bringing up that article also makes me think of, looking up what Game Rant had to write about this article, and then them referencing an article that they wrote back in 2023 when Bungie tweeted in 2023, incubation at Bungie is focused on developing inclusive worlds, which takes time and team members with diverse backgrounds. So we're actively hiring in fully remote roles. They follow that up with another tweet on August 18, 2023, saying, one of our favorite incubation projects is a team-based action game inspired by several genres in a brand new science fantasy universe. It draws inspiration from fighting games, platformers, MOBAs, life sims, and frog-type games, wrapped in a lighthearted comedic world.
Wait, is that what they wrote today, or is that something
they wrote this in 2023?
No.
Yes.
Wait, really?
Bungie tweeted this in 2023. So shout out to Game Rant for writing this article in 2023. This was Ash K. Patel.
Wow.
So back then, they were already talking about frog-type games. I don't know what that means. Is that
It's the new Strand
game. Does it stand for fighting, role-playing, online gaming? You know,
I'm typing in frog game genre
because when you describe everything,
Frogger came up.
Of course, when you described everything you described, Les, it sounds to me like they're doing their version of Gang Beasts in a way with MOBA stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. Obviously, we need to see what this game looks like. We need to understand. In order to understand what they're going for, because we had another game sort of pop up today from Devolver, and Devolver has a new demo out for a brand new multiplayer game that they wanted to show off.
Mm.
And they were gonna, I think they tweeted yesterday, thank God we didn't decide to do this yesterday or today, which was the GTA 6 reveal.
6, yeah.
They announced a new game and demo, and it looks similar to what you would get with Gang Beasts or Party Animals or one of these sort of social multiplayer games that's silly and goofy. But it also seems like Bungie is trying to be more serious about it in terms of classes and skills and MOBA types. Like, where do you think that this lands in their portfolio?
I think there are so many fascinating things about this. One, that this isn't Bungie, right? This is a spin-off studio project, or a studio LFG looking for group. This is I think.
But again, the fact that Bungie tweeted this out in 2023, and then broke
when
off
this was
from
a
there.
Bungie thing, and the fact that they're forming a studio around this project and around future projects coming off of this, like, I think there is an investment and a belief here from Sony that there's a nugget here that could have potential to be something big, be something good, or at least align with the vision of what they want. Hey, we've had this live service plan. We tried Concord. We have Marathon coming up. We have Fair Games coming up. Like, this is a thing that we want to do. How do we continue this and do it in the most fitting way possible? And I look at this, and like, there are things that I look at here and I kind of roll my eyes when I read the genre being a fighting platformer MOBA, right? It being seemingly a mix between a Smash Brothers game and a MOBA title. Man, does that sound so whack to me. That sounds like nothing I ever want to touch, mainly because I'm me, and I think a lot of people who aren't MOBA people just have no desire to like become MOBA people, right? Like, it's one of those genres where if you're not in it, you are out of it. You know what I mean? It's not like an action game where it's like, all right, cool, I like these kind of games over here, but I'm down to try an action game. I feel like MOBAs are just kind of an off-putting genre for people that aren't all in on playing a League of Legends or playing a Dota 2 or playing the MOBAs that are out there. And then on the flip side, right? And that's me talking to somebody who loves Smash Brothers. Of, oh, you said the platformer fighting thing, I'm in. MOBA. Ugh. On the flip side, if you are a league person, if you are a MOBA person, or if you're more open to this, I love that Barrett here has brought up the Crash MOBA game that came out a couple years ago, right? Like, my thing then is, do you read the part of it having Smash Brothers type mechanics and go, oh, that's not what I want in a MOBA? And for Studio LFG here, are they looking for that audience, or are they just looking at the audience of, I guess, younger gamers that might just want a multiplayer game and going, well, you want to craft something brand new and different and weird? Because I out of all those things, right? Like I read this, I'm like, that's whack. That doesn't sound like it's for me. Yada yada. At the end of the day, like, if they're just going for creating something fresh and new, I can't really hate on that. To your point earlier, like, I think we just have to see what it is. We just have to see what the final product is. I want to know what a frog game is.
And it seems like they're down to experiment, which I think is nice. Like, this feels like a kind of weird project that they seem wildly passionate about, that enough to say, we're going to give you all a studio name. Like, I think that's kind of a really big deal to say you are now a first party studio. That's like kind of wild. I think, Bless, I think you just haven't found your right MOBA.
Really?
Because look, when I thought of the word MOBA prior to a game like Deadlock, to me it was clicking on the ground and making your little guy move forward and doing that.
You have your little minions.
I just
you're jungling and you have lanes.
And I would look at that and go, how the fuck are 900 million people watching this right now? Like,
how's this on the NASDAQ as its own genre?
I don't get it. Like, I don't understand this shit. And then I played Deadlock, and it was, all right, we're gonna give you the MOBA sort of vibe, but in a third person shooter. And it's like, oh, that's a way for me to kind of, that's easily digestible for me.
Yeah.
You're going to give me this genre that I've generally not been super into, but it's a third-person shooter now, and my aiming matters and my accuracy matters. Cool. That's something I can understand. And I think that there's something kind of neat about this sort of genre with Smash Bros. Percentage damage stuff that could make you, damage your character more. And if it's more skillful, like a fighting game, I could totally see this being cool. But in the current climate, if it's not free to play, if it's
gotta be.
Like,
you can't make a Smash Brothers MOBA game as PlayStation and not make it free to play.
It has to be the most perfect storm in order for something like this to catch fire. It seems like they have all the belief in it, but a lot of other people have had a lot of belief in their really fun multiplayer games before. And this is never an indictment on the game's quality itself. This game can come out and be the best fucking game ever, but will it ever pull people away from the other big giants?
My question, because as Barrett brought up footage of Pokemon Unite and I forget the name of the Crash game. Not Crash Bash.
Rumble. Crash Team Rumble.
Crash Team Rumble. Thank you. Crash Bash was from back in the day. The day that was like the Mario Party game that I used to love. I had the demo disc from Pizza Hut. No big deal. But Barrett brings those up, and honestly, it does make me think about how much of a market there is for a mobile crowd. Specifically, I think like a growing younger mobile crowd that might not be able to get into League or be able to get into Dota, right? Like, I think you want to create more, pun intended, lanes for people to get into this genre in a way that's appropriate and that's going to speak for them. And my hope with this, because with there being a studio being launched, with this game being like the foundation of it, I hope that PlayStation has their projections set right for what this is going to do, or how this is going to do in terms of player base and sales, or whatever those numbers look like. And I hope it's low, and I hope it's scoped. I hope this isn't like scoped like crazy, right? Because I read this, and as I read this, I think the thing that comes to mind is Team Asobi. And what I hope out of this studio is that they are the multiplayer Team Asobi as far as what they're bringing to the table. Hey, work fast, work nimble, put out cool, weird projects that might be able to get a player base in the way that you look at a Fall Guys, and a Fall Guys is so fucking successful because it was a weird, different thing that at the core of it was super fun. That's what this studio needs to be and should be. And I hope that like Project Gummy Bears, if this is the Project Gummy Bears studio, of course it is. Like, I hope that is able to bring in that type of audience and then lead into the next thing of, all right, now we're doing this other weird, like, I'm trying to think of a random ass genre, right? Fighting, I don't know, climbing game or whatever.
Bear type game.
A bear type game, yeah. Like them even saying, hey, we're taking inspiration from frog type games. I'm like, all right, what's the bit here? Because y'all are fucking with me.
Yeah.
Like, y'all are making jokes here, and I can't wait to see, like, what that trailer is. Hopefully, maybe, fingers crossed, we see that trailer at a PlayStation showcase or state of play that happens in the next month.
God, I love how bad Google's AI overview is, because I typed in, what is a frog game? And it says, a frog type game generally refers to any video game where frogs are a significant, often central element. This can involve playing as a frog, interacting with frogs in the game world, or having the game's core mechanics tied to frog-related actions like jumping or collecting.
I mean, that busts the door open. Jumping, collecting. So you told me that Mario is a frog type
Don't
game?
you ever call him Mario.
That's a new thing we're doing in 2025.
No, we're not.
We're all calling it Mario
We are not.
now.
West of the Mississippi, we're all calling it Mario.
West is Mississippi, and guess what? If you believe in the world being a sphere.
He always has to preface it with that.
I'm just saying, if you believe in that, you know, we're all west of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Where have you been on YouTube in the last weekend? Because I've been some places.
My algorithm's taking me on a journey. Remember Foam Stars, man?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I forgot about Foam Stars.
I had fun with that.
Is that game still alive?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I thought wasn't that one where they announced that they were like closing it before it even went public, and then they just let it live for like 3 months or some shit?
They're saying Foam Stars isn't. This is 5 months ago. Foam Star ends in January as Square Enix drops. Yeah, this is December 5th, 2024.
Okay.
There's just a lot, man. It's such a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
To try to get into the space, to try to pull anybody away from what they've been doing and from their comfort zones, you know? Yeah. And that comfort zone is the war zone or Fortnite, Roblox. We still as a society don't really take Roblox as serious as we need to, as like an existential threat. Like in the way that, you know, whenever, you know, we're talking about like world powers and we're not taking them serious enough.
Yeah,
we're not like taking Roblox serious enough. And I know that a lot of people that listen to gaming podcasts certainly know that and understand. There's a lot of people that just assume that it's always only Fortnite or whatever. Nah, man, Roblox is like, we got to watch out for Roblox.
You sound like an old man.
We have to watch out for Roblox.
You sound like
I am
my
an old
father.
man. I am an old
We
man.
gotta watch out for the Roblox and the TikTok.
We gotta watch
and the
out for the
Fortnite.
Roblox, dude.
But like genuinely, if you're talking about the fall of the video games, we do gotta watch out for the TikTok and the Roblox and the Fortnite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's sucking up all of people's free time.
Yeah, we got Solatheta says my daughters play Roblox daily. Mellofellow says my cousins are constantly on it. My nephew and nieces are always on it, constantly. It's something that we're not really taking serious yet because we're like, free to play goofy game. It doesn't look good. Who gives a shit? Nah, man. Be careful.
Be careful.
Don't let you. Do you know where your kids are? Because it's 10:30 a.m.
They're playing Dress to Impress.
Where are your children? Story number 2. I'm on the wrong doc.
What do you mean you're on the
Those
wrong
are the Gamescast doc.
Why are you in the Gamescast?
I scrolled down and I was like, where did the info go?
Jesus Christ. Story number 2, Destiny 2 is getting
No, I have it here.
Oh,
No,
you got
I
it?
got it. I got it.
Cool.
Destiny 2 is getting an entire Star Wars themed expansion called Renegades later this year. This is from Ethan Gatch at Kotaku. The next year of Destiny 2 includes a massive homage to Star Wars. Okay, is it an homage or is it actually Star Wars?
I think it's actually Star Wars,
We'll
but
find
it's
out.
not.
It's not just an homage.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that they were colliding.
Stormtroopers, dude.
I thought we were getting colliding universes.
Those
you know?
are rain soldiers. They're not stormtroopers.
Destiny 2 Renegades is an expansion coming in December, complete with lightsabers and a destination that looks very reminiscent of Tatooine.
It's not a lightsaber, it's a laser sword.
What exactly will Renegades entail besides Star Wars fonts and iconic weaponry from a galaxy far, far away? Bungie isn't saying just yet. The announcement came as a One More Thing tease at the end of the Year of Prophecy showcase, focused on what the future is of its sci-fi MMO shooter looks like. And there's no information on just how closely it will bleed into the actual Star Wars universe, though the team isn't being shy about the inspiration. Bungie said the expansion, which launches before the end of 2025, pending any delays, will take players to a lawless frontier within the Destiny solar system that channels the sci-fi Western style of the Star Wars universe. The Destiny 2 Year of Prophecy Ultimate Edition even comes with skins for Darth Vader and other Star Wars villains.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No,
Not just inspirations and stuff.
That's
and
not Darth
homages.
Vader.
Definitely not a collaboration.
That's it's Dark Invader.
And that's Babooine.
that Lucasfilm Games in the credits there. Don't pay attention to
Lucas,
that. Just
no,
homages.
man. That's
So, like, man,
guy.
they're still making Destiny, huh?
Yeah, what
What
up?
happened?
Yeah, what happened?
Well,
Good for them.
I did everything I could to take on the Witness in the final shape, and I thought my story was over.
No,
It seems like it's just begun.
did Final have an asterisk on it?
I didn't see one. I
Did
didn't see
they
one.
take off
The
name?
shape.
Now, just
Right.
because you finished the story doesn't mean that other stories don't unfold.
Yeah, it was the end of the saga. It was like the end game, but like the Avengers didn't end, or the MCU didn't end at end game.
Yeah.
Weren't there just tons of
Even though
reports?
some of us wish it did.
It just limped on after.
Weren't there tons of reports that, hey, whatever Destiny 3 was going to be is done, shelved, when they laid off like all of the main people at Bungie, the people that were running Destiny? Like, weren't there reports that Destiny 3 was never going to happen? Like, technically, this isn't Destiny 3 happening, but I thought when that happened, I was like, we'll never get more.
Yeah,
They'll just cut this off. But I guess not.
I mean, what's more cost
Egg
efficient?
on my face.
Yeah, like, is it more cost efficient to go, hey, let's not have a new gigantic game launch. Let's continue to just cater to our audience that we know that we have in this product, and like, do this while we're launching Marathon and while we're, going through layoffs and like having trouble, but then also like spinning off another studio. I wonder if it's a thing of, hey, we need the money that we know we have right now. Like, we can't just take the risk of trying to launch a brand new thing when we're out here taking risks on the side. Like, we need a guaranteed. We know how Destiny 2 Renegades is gonna do.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess I'm just surprised that it feels like the Bungie cycle is announce that 80 people got laid off.
Yeah.
And also this new thing that we're making. Like, they always have been kind of fairly back to back. And I don't know, I'm impressed that Destiny still is kicking and that people are really pumped for these updates. Like, the people that are the diehard Destiny fans seem to be super stoked about this.
Are you not?
I mean, I pop in when like the major expansions happen. I don't know if this would be categorized as a major sort of thing. It's a weird kind of area where when you're selling, I guess it's got to be a major expansion because there's an Ultimate Edition. Like, you know what I mean? That's crazy to me. I don't know if it comes with a little collectible or not. Crush Lemon says, let's admit it, Destiny was better when it was under Activision. That's a hot take, Crush Lemon. I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't respond to that.
I'm such a Destiny casual that I never know what good Destiny is because I just like shooting at shit and seeing cool visuals. And people be like, "That's the worst fucking expansion of my lifetime." It's like, oh damn, I thought I had.
See,
kind
to
of
this
fun
day,
with it.
in my own perspective, I beat Destiny 2 because I beat the Callus raid at launch, and I just didn't touch any expansions. But
What was like 2017. What was that? 2018.
That was 2017.
2017.
Wow.
Yeah, that shit was magical.
Remember when Andy, you got really upset at me that we did the raid without you?
Oh,
yeah.
I'd be so pissed
That was
off
fucked up. Yeah.
because like you need a squad.
Yeah.
I mean,
For that.
like he left. He went home for like a week.
I had to. I was in front of a CVS with just like a little sign up, like looking for Destiny. Right? Remember? You know what I mean?
He gave me grief about that for months.
I was
and months.
LFGing out there.
Yeah. Kebabs in chat says, "Wait, Star Wars is a straight up Western."
Yeah, it's space western.
Yeah, it's like
Have you watched Star Wars? Let me introduce you to a character named Han Solo.
yeah.
He's kind of
They
a
got
cowboy.
gunslingers and
He's
shit.
a cowboy. Yeah. I don't know. Story number 3. EA sets Battlefield release window with a full reveal coming this summer. This is from Andy Robinson at VGC. Electronic Arts has confirmed it will release the next Battlefield game by March 2026, with a full public reveal due to take place this summer. Speaking as part of its latest financial results, EA CEO Andrew Wilson called the next Battlefield a pivotal step in delivering on our next generation of blockbuster entertainment. Wilson also confirmed that Skate will be released during the next financial year and ending April 2026. Previously, EA has said Skate will enter early access sometime this calendar year.
I'm
Andrew
laughing.
Wilson also said, "I got a fuckload of money, man.
I got stats.
I got
Man.
40 million in the bank right now."
I'm 5'8", but on my money, I'm 6'6". I giggled a little bit because earlier in chat, BLP Entertainment said more like hung solo.
Wow.
I don't know
I
why.
thought you were laughing at the Skate stuff.
No, I'm laughing at dumb chats, but I'm also laughing at the fact that I feel like they buried the lead. Because cool, Battlefield before 2026, May, whatever, or April, but like Skate, you know what I mean? Where's Skate? Drop Skate. I want to hear more about Skate. I want to skate around
during the next financial year, April 2026, and early access sometime this calendar year.
I need that. Which one are you more excited for between Battlefield and Skate?
Dude,
I'm excited for Skate.
Easily Skate, and I'm not even that excited for Skate. Dude, I'll say this right now. Unless they ever decide to sponsor us, like, I fucking hate Battlefield. I'll hop in there just to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I always told SnowBike Mike when he was like, "So what are you thinking about Marathon and Arc Raiders? I was like, dude, legitimately, you could just put a black screen on the screen with like just little fucking icons to shoot, and I'll do that. Like, that's entertaining to me because I have, I just have fun kind of exercising that part of my brain.
You're the nitro rifle.
Exactly. But Battlefield, I've never vibed with. It always feels like you are in the pregame lobby of a battle royale in a Battlefield game.
Yeah.
Where like the match hasn't started yet. You're just out there doing whatever
People
the hell you want.
Lollygagging.
Dude, it's like,
what's the objective?
Dude, there's too many things to like look at and care about, and then the whole time I feel like I'm dominating a zone, and then the match ends and I lost 100 to 22. I'm like, man, I thought I was popping off,
Yeah.
And you never feel like you have a lot of agency in Battlefield games. That's the thing. Like when you're playing a 4v4 shooter or a whatever, you feel like you can clutch up as an individual and go, man, I can really make a big hero play.
Yeah.
I can 2v5 this squad right now. With Battlefield, so much of it is dependent on the other 900 people in the lobby. And then even at that point, you'll get sniped from, a fucking state away. It just, I've never vibed with Battlefield.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Now, if somebody was like, "Hey, Andy, we're playing Battlefield, hop in," I'll be like, "Yeah, okay, sure.
let's do
I'll go
it."
fuck around, whatever."
I'm kind of the same way, but I think I've always just been fascinated by EA's commitment to Battlefield because that means it's certainly speaking to like that audience in a way where EA is like, "Oh, we want to support this over anything else, over a Titanfall or over like the other shooters that we could bring back or do whatever with, right?" Like Battlefield, I wonder if you can ever get back to the glory days of it. Like, I wonder if we can ever, I don't think we can ever get back to a conversation where it's Call of Duty versus Battlefield, because Call of Duty is just a different beast now. And like, it's such a different machine. If we want to talk about something that could be its own thing on the NASDAQ, right? Like Call of Duty is elsewhere now, right? Battlefield, I wonder what EA wants it to be. Cause like, I feel like when you had like a Battlefield 1 come out, it felt like such a cool moment for it, right? Like different setting, different vibe.
Right.
Like a lot of people liked the campaign with the series of vignettes thing that it had going on. Like that felt like a vision for Battlefield. But since then, from an outside looking in perspective, I see the last two Battlefield games come out, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know if those are getting the numbers that they want. Like I feel like I don't see people like as engaged with Battlefield in the last couple of iterations, and I don't know if that's a sign for, hey, it's over, or if EA like they look at it and they're like, oh, we're almost there, we're knocking on the door, we just need XYZ thing to line up so we can turn this into a major hit.
I think you make a great point that it's one of their knowns. It's something that they know will do well. It's something that they know that it's consistent. And just looking at reports from several years ago, how 2042 had the second best week 1 sales in Battlefield history. Now, that was during the pandemic. I think that's also, those numbers get skewed a little bit. But when they look at how Titanfall 2 did not hit the way they wanted to, despite whatever the public outcry is, despite what social media is saying, wanting Titanfall to be back, they can always just look at what the data says. And the data says that people will still play Battlefield, so we got to greenlight another one. What you got, Barrett?
I think a really, blessing, you're just kind of making me think of what is Battlefield in 2025? How do we get people back to it? I was just thinking of What if you got like a group of dudes together? You call them a company, right? And
they were not good.
They weren't good. You know, some would say bad.
Nefarious. Oh, bad. I like bad.
Yeah.
I like bad.
I'm just spitballing ideas.
A naughty organization.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Battlefield, naughty organization. 3.
We're on to something. I think we're also on to other things, Bless.
Yeah.
Like how amazing our sponsors are.
Oh.
For help keeping the lights and the mics on. And if you're a Patreon producer, you can watch, or if you're a Patreon member, you can watch this show ad-free right now after the fact. But if you're watching right now, you're going to get a word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Imperial. We've told you all how important it is to developers to wishlist games that you're interested in. So if this sounds cool to you, make sure you wishlist it. Imperial is a complex, feature-rich action RPG where you'll be sent to a planet in a far-off corner of the galaxy to explore an imposing monolith. As an elite mercenary, you'll join the expedition tasked with unearthing the secrets of the monolith and face off against the deadly automatons within. In Imperial, you'll explore 4 vastly different quadrants of the monolith, accessible only by using mysterious artifacts known as cartograms. Each cartogram affects which enemies, boss fights, and loot will appear when you enter the monolith, so no 2 excursions will be the same. Find even more cartograms to explore by looting defeated enemies or buy them from other players online at the trading post. Imperial features 3 weapon archetypes: the fast-paced acrobatic glaive, the defense-focused mace and shield, or the devastating cannon, with a range of customizable skills and abilities that can make short work of the awaiting automatons. Your weapons and abilities can be changed before any excursion into a cartogram, so if a loadout isn't working for you, you can mix things up to create the perfect playstyle. Help the members of the expedition in deep branching quests and aid other players in asynchronous multiplayer. Get ready, mercenaries. The monolith awaits. Imperial is available May 8th on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PS5. Wishlist now. It helps so much. Wishlist Imperial.
This episode is brought to you by Aura Frames. If you haven't called your mom in a while, here is your reminder to do it. But then you want to go above and beyond. Mother's Day is coming up, and I have the perfect gift idea. Aura Frames are incredibly smart and easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's ready to go right out of the box. It's a gift so special, they'll use it every day. Greg, Kevin, and a ton of people here at Kinda Funny are obsessed with their Aura frames. It takes about 2 minutes to set up a frame using the Aura app. So the next time you need to call your mom, you could also send her a new pic of you from that trip you're telling her all about. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver matte frame. That's AURA frames.com, promo code Kinda Funny. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. The show is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's super great that mental health awareness is growing, but there's still progress to be made. 26% of Americans who participated in a recent survey say they have avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. We can do better. No reason for fear. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny. BetterHelp.com/kindafunny.
Story number 4. EA suggests it has no plans to raise game prices yet, despite others doing so. This comes from Chris Cullen at VGC. Electronic Arts has suggested it has no plans to raise the price of games in the wake of other companies doing the same. During a Q&A in its Q4 and fiscal year 2025 earnings conference call, one caller asked EA's execs how the company considered the pricing power of its IP and whether it was considering a, quote, taken a similar approach to other companies announcing games that I would have loved to have heard this call, just a call being like, so was y'all doing something similar?
Yeah. So like you see what they're doing. You're gonna do
It'd be really cool if y'all did.
You taking a similar approach?
It'd be super. I would love my fourth yacht. EA CEO Andrew Wilson replied that the company's main goals are to ensure players enjoy the games they play, but also feel like they're getting value for their money. Quote, our business is very different today than it was even just 10 years ago, Wilson explained. In a world where everything we did 10 years ago was about selling shiny discs in plastic boxes in retail shelves, while that's still part of our business, it's a significantly smaller part of our business, and we now have pricing representing everything from free-to-play all the way to deluxe editions and beyond. Quote, at the end of the day, whether we're doing something that costs $1 or we're doing something that just costs $10, we're doing something that costs $100, our objective is always delivering incredible quality and exponential value to our player base. And what we've discovered over the course of time is whether we can marry quality and value together. Our business is strong, resilient, and continues to grow. To clarify, EA CFO then added, quote, from a games perspective, we have reflected no changes in our current strategy at this point.
I will say, for as far as PR marketing statements go, that was very big like PR speak, but pretty good PR speak as far as like their reasoning behind it, even though I don't believe him for a second. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, being like, oh, we want to maintain the value to like, you know, of what we're delivering. And so if we want to give you something that's $100, we want to make sure it's valued at $100. I think that's technically the right answer to this question. That said, I think the key word in the title of this article is yet. It'll happen. It'll happen when everybody else does it, right? But I think I wouldn't be surprised if there's a conversation at EA regarding prices that is, how beneficial would it be for us to do this, right? Like, we're getting people to buy FIFA or EAFC every year. Would the $80 thing, would that fuck that up? Would that be the straw that breaks the camel's back as far as like being able to get people to buy the same game every single year? Like, I wonder if there are conversations regarding that for the kind of games that EA makes, and then also like how much they feel like people will buy EA games for. Like, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, ooh, can we get away with this? And like, would this fuck up the bag that we already have? FIFA is already one of the best selling games every year, like the number 2 or 3 behind Call of Duty every year. Do we fuck that up for ourselves if we raise the prices and give people a reason to not want to buy this every year
and lose the goodwill from people that may not already have a whole lot of goodwill for you as it is? Mm-hmm. And we're talking, can you imagine the prices going up on a Madden or a EA or NCAA football? We're talking games that, you know, don't get remade every year. Yeah. These are games that are often reusing 80% of the assets from the prior year because they have to pump out a new game every year, right? And that's a lot of work and that's a quick turnaround. And it's such an interesting business. And it reminds me a lot of how Call of Duty can put out a new game and people will buy the fuck out of it. But no other studio can do that. No other studio will buy your annual or biannual sort of release thing. If any other sort of genre was trying to sell you these sports games every year for the quality that you're getting, where it's like, you know, very incremental things, and now we have a new mode where you get to look at Twitter on your phone as the athlete or whatever. Like, it's so bizarre that those games will still sell. It's such an anomaly nowadays. Yeah. Like, those things just don't really work out anymore. I am kind of shocked, though, that in this call, where you are trying to make more money for your company, you wouldn't put out any sort of like more leaning towards raising prices. Like the fact that he is like, I'm not saying he didn't say no. I'm not saying that he isn't leaving it off the table, but the fact that it was more skewed to, well, we believe in, quality versus what you're paying for, blah, blah, blah. I was expecting on an earnings call, I'd be like, hey, nothing's off the table, man.
Yeah, and we were talking about it, we're assessing the situation. Yeah. Maybe, we could see it.
Tariffs, whatever you just want to throw out there. Like, I'm shocked that they didn't lean further in that way, because that you know, you could tell the public one thing in a press release or whatever, but then the earnings calls are a bit different. The earnings calls are where you kind of like get more into the dirty shit.
You do the rich people laugh.
Yeah, exactly. You twist your mustache or whatever. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that didn't happen there.
I want to bring Barrett into this conversation because Barrett's brought up the shirt chain gif 4 times.
I just fucking sure, dude. Definitely believe you. Definitely believe that y'all haven't been thinking about this.
Sure. I mean, I think everybody's thinking about it. Yeah. That's the thing is like you're talking about a business that's, you know, looking at market conditions and going with their primary objective, how do we get our shareholders the most money as possible, right? And I think like again, coming back to the idea of how do the market conditions change how we treat our sports games or change how we treat our games? Like I wouldn't be surprised if they're also having a conversation regarding does this finally go free to play? Like if it is a thing of if it's a thing of, hey, everybody's going up in price and we're in this weird places FIFA where people or EAFC, whatever it is, where people are buying our game every single fucking year and we're making so much money off of Ultimate Team and like our number, which is the higher priority for us between seeing the diminishing player numbers because we decided to raise the price, therefore making less money off of Ultimate Team versus what if we can keep the $70 and like maybe maintain that number of people, even though I think in the last year you've seen FIFA actually, or you've seen EAFC actually dip in terms of numbers. Or could we maybe make this free-to-play thing work and like, you know, just go all in on Ultimate Team and nickel and diming and doing all that stuff, right? Like no matter what, they're having a conversation about what to do with EAFC, especially after this last year where you've seen those numbers go down. But I wouldn't be surprised if the answer isn't go up to $80.
Man,
it could be, but
I don't foresee things changing for a while. My question about going free to play, or the thing that I'm kind of doubting that the free to play model will even happen, is because the numbers are still there for games like Madden and you know NCAA had a successful year. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the EAFC thing was an anomaly for what happened with it seeing a lot of revenue loss. But like they're still doing microtransactions within the game. People are still paying for Ultimate Teams and things like that. Like you just kind of wish that they would be okay with what they had.
Yeah.
And that's like the most idealist thing to ever say, but you know, we'll see what the future is for these sports games.
The one more thing I'll say too is when I think of the people that are buying a FIFA every year, EAFC, I'm going to fuck that up forever. I think back to when I was the person buying FIFA every year, right? And for me, it was always the thing of, all right, the game is $60. It comes out in like September, October-ish. Every year, like clockwork, I would wait for Black Friday because Best Buy would always have it like 20-25% off. And I had my Best Buy Gamers Club Ultimate thing, right? And so I'm like, if I can get this thing at a square $40, that's gonna hopefully make it worth it for me. I think there's so much of the audience that is like treating it like ritual or tradition of, all right, it's time. It's September through November. I know I'm gonna pick up the new EAFC because I just do it every single year, right? And like I'm gonna see if I can get it on deal. I'm gonna see if I can get the thing, but I know I'm gonna buy it because I'm just initiated in this process of getting it every year. I think the $80 is going to break a lot of people out of that process. I think when you raise the price to that, I think that's going to make people go, well, fuck, why don't I just play the FIFA that's the same one from last year? Like, I could see that happening. I'm not saying that's the truth for everybody or even most people, but I could see that fear of EA being like, ooh, I don't know if we can do that with FIFA.
That's a good point, and especially because the big money maker is less so like the $60 now or $70, whatever it is right now, is just the gateway entryway into getting people
into Ultimate Team.
Yeah, to get to the real money maker. And yeah, if you raise that kind of like just like door fee, right? Like how many people are going to go in?
Yeah.
Story number 5. Be careful what you read on about an Elden Ring movie. This comes from Jay Peters at The Verge. There's been a lot of like sort of conflicting stuff, so we'll kind of get into it.
Yeah, we can break some of it down.
This comes from Jay Peters at The Verge. On Tuesday, a publication called Nexus Point News published a headline for what looked to be a major piece of entertainment news. Exclusive, Alex Garland set to direct Elden Ring film for A24. What a sentence. The article claimed that Elden Ring is expected to be Garland's next film and that shooting is expected to start in 2026. But don't get your hopes up. Soon after the article was published, Nexus Point News pulled it, and the publication won't say why. How this news article made the rounds is an interesting case study in the way news travels on the internet. We first saw the Nexus Point News article from a Wario64 post on X. Generally, Wario64 is a great account to follow to see breaking news in video games almost as soon as it happens, and the account is quite popular with more than 1 million followers on X. But none of us at The Verge had ever heard of Nexus Point News, let alone recognize it as a place that reliably breaks entertainment news, so something didn't seem right. Parentheses. Another recent Nexus Point News exclusive includes a potential cast member being eyed for one of the male leads in a Star Wars Starfighter, in the Star Wars Starfighter film, but the article includes an update that says, quote, a Lucasfilm spokesperson has denied this reporting. So I messaged Wario64, asked him why he reposted it. He said that the person who posted a thread on the gaming forum Reset Era claimed the site was reliable and that, quote, I guess I'm sharing because I too think it's absurd. The thread appears to be this one, where the poster says in a reply to somebody asking, bro, what the fuck is this source, LMAO? That Nexus Point News is pretty reliable. They are breaking more and more news before traditional trades. Soon after, I refreshed a Nexus Point News story and saw that it had been taken down. I told Wario64 that we were looking into it on our end about its removal. Soon after, Wario64 posted about the removal and deleted the original tweet. Then, I emailed Nexus Point News press line to see if somebody could say what was going on. Demet Koch, the publication's editor-in-chief, replied 2 minutes later but declined to comment. A24's Sophia Shin has also declined to comment on record.
So I posted this in the KFGD Slack.
Right.
And then Roger replied with another link from a Reddit subreddit called Gaming Leaks and Rumors. In there, there was a post about Jeff Snyder backing up the rumors about the Alex Garland directed Elden Ring film. Film journalist Jeff Snyder is now backing up what Nexus Point News broke yesterday regarding an Elden Ring film directed by Alex Garland. Then the post goes on to talk about how he had previously confirmed rumors that included the cast for M. Night Shyamalan's next film, Bill Skarsgård joining the next Michael Sarnowski film, and Mikey Madison being in talks for a role in Sean Levy's Star Wars film. So we're firmly in rumor mill speculation station territory with this one. It seems like it's not 100%, but also not 0%.
Right. There's the chance of this happening is not zero.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know what more to say about that. I'm like, all right, it's not impossible, but also not 100% confirmed. Like, we don't know for sure. What I will say is that I don't know if I want an Alex Garland Elden Ring film. It sounds weird to me. And I don't think weird is a good enough reason to be a hater for me, right? But like, I need to see the trailer. I need to see an image, a set image, something. I need to know because I don't see Alex. When I look at Alex Garland's work, right, I guess none of it really screams this guy has done an Elden Ring style thing, like a big fantasy tale that feels a bit more grand than what we've gotten out of, I guess, his work before. Not saying he couldn't do it. I just need.
I guess for me, the one part of me that wants this to happen, and I'm not like necessarily disagreeing with you, because I think that an Alex Garland A24 film for Elden Ring, like, those things just don't really seem to go together.
Yeah.
But then I think of how this news site took it down. I won't say why, and I wonder if, like, oh shit, maybe they had a cease and desist, or maybe they're, maybe like the powers that be at A24 were like, hey, take this fucking shit down. It's not supposed to go live yet or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, there's part of me that's like, maybe it was taken down because it is real. And that's just like the small part of me that's like, it's not 0% chance that it might happen.
As one of the biggest Elden Ring fans I know, do you want it to be real?
Do
you want Alex Garland to make your dream game movie a reality? Is this your dream game movie? Do you even want this game to be a movie?
No, but I'm curious enough. I'm curious enough that with talented enough people, something of note could be made. Something cool could be made here. Because of the storytelling, it's such an odd game to even try to visualize as a movie. It would have to be. I don't know how you could make this movie and make it, and make it make sense narratively.
Yeah,
it would be a lot of weird moving parts. It reminds you of what people were telling me about the Until Dawn movie. How so much of Until Dawn is the decision making. And when you put that into a movie and remove all of the decision making, it just kind of becomes a horror movie. And at one point, will the Elden Ring adventure just be a medieval type deal with names that I recognize?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, right? Like somebody earlier in chat mentioned that Death Stranding also has an A24 movie in development, and that makes way more sense to me. Just as far as like the kind of story that Death Stranding is versus the kind of story that Elden Ring is, where Elden Ring is almost more of a world than it is just a straightforward story, because the nature of how they tell the story of Elden Ring, it is way more through discovery. It's way more through like you are arriving kind of at the end of the story and kind of getting like the history of the world you're in, and like getting through reveals and like stuff of, oh, this is what I'm here to do. Like it's just a very weird format to then try and tell through a linear act 1, act 2, act 3 kind of thing through a movie. That said, like A24 has had, I look at The Green Knight, the Dev Patel movie from A24 that came out a few years ago. And I'm not the biggest fan of Green Knight, but if you're going to make an Elden Ring movie, I could see it maybe being a Green Knight thing where the whole thing is fucking weird and mysterious and like
artsy as hell.
As hell. And I think that would be an appropriate way to do an Elden Ring movie.
I think that's what it has to be.
Yeah.
I think it has to be a very unconventional way of storytelling.
Yes.
It has to be told through the weirdest means possible.
Like, as the audience member, the audience would have to almost be kept in the dark for 80% of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I mean, it
would have to be you're watching a dude just get fucking mauled by groups of undead, and like you have to fight a dragon out of nowhere, and you don't really understand why. And then like the last 20% of the movie, you're like, oh shit,
yeah,
that's this guy.
You had to stay for the credits, and in the DVD menu, there would be more descriptions of who that character was. I mean, it's something that I would be excited about, but I'm not in any way being like, no, you had the perfect recipe with this director and this story. Like,
yeah,
Elden Ring just has never been that game for me where I need to see it visualized on the big screen. The only one I really feel that way about is Mass Effect. And with Amazon kind of working on a TV show or whatever that's going to be, that gets me excited because that Mass Effect is such a universe that is asking for any other sort of medium to sort of take it on and be visualized on a big screen. But Elden Ring is not that game for me. And that's why I want it to be real, because I can only be disappointed by it. Like, it's not something that I've been looking forward to forever, like I was the Halo movie back in the day when the team from District 9 was rumored to be working on it. And I was like, oh my God, a Halo movie. It never, ever happened. And then 15 years later, they made a TV show that nobody liked.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't know about the Alex Garland A24 thing. I think there's a good chance that that's real, but who knows? I think 100% you're going to get an Elden Ring movie. And whoever is able to get that is going to that's like having the fucking, like getting a fucking gold in the Olympics as far as like what the race is right now for video games. Like, there's a video game movie race happening currently. Sydney Sweeney is starring in Split Fiction. Like, fucking Sifu is getting a movie from the John Wick people. Like, video game movies are having the biggest boom possible. The biggest boom probably of all time as far as I think how video game movies are going to go, right? Like, that is happening, and Elden Ring is at the top of everybody's going to want to do that.
Who do they get to star in it?
To star in it?
Yeah.
Timothy.
I knew you.
That's where I was going to.
You know who's gonna star in it.
I knew you.
You know who's gonna star in it.
No, but
he's gonna make such a great tarnish.
Can he do an English accent?
Probably.
You need like the best.
Or
English
you just get
accent.
Tom Holland to dub over him.
You could have told me that he's British. I would have believed you. Like, I know he's not British. I heard him talking to Kendrick Lamar. But yeah.
Story number 6. Microsoft and Asus's Xbox handheld appears in leaked photos. This comes from Dominic Preston at The Verge. The first photos of the Asus ROG Ally 2 have surfaced online thanks to regulatory listings. But with a twist, there are 2 versions of the gaming handheld, and one features a dedicated Xbox button. We reported 2 months ago that that Microsoft was working with Asus to develop an Xbox-branded handheld codenamed Project Kennen. This project, and this appears to be it. It's a black version of the otherwise almost identical white ROG Ally 2 with a small button in the top left corner bearing an engraved Xbox logo. That button is blacked out on the regular ROG, though it will likely be replaced or removed in its production version. 9-1 Mobiles found listings for the ROG Ally 2 at the Indonesian certificate, and video cards linked those to an FCC listing for the Wi-Fi module included in the two devices, which includes photos of the hardware. That listing also reveals some limited specs, which include a 7-inch 120Hz LCD display, about the same as the first generation, with an 8-core processor.
I'm fucking dying by how I'm dying by a few things in this photo.
This is gross, bro.
Like the fact that you can see the reflection of the person holding their cell phone to take a picture of the ROG Ally. One is killing me, but then two, yeah, how dirty these fucking things are. Like they just got freshly built. They hadn't wiped it down yet.
This dude, whoever built this, looks like they just got off their ship at Pizza Hut. Yeah, just had like a bunch of oil on their hands.
Yeah, like,
gross.
They just got done fucking.
They let their
this
dog like carry it around in their mouth for a bit.
This is one of those, like, this handheld is a video that you would see on the TikToks where they clean hardware and like restore it. You know, like this is the before version.
You need to power wash it.
Yeah, my dad had this old handheld about 40 years ago, and you know, I'm gonna hire you to kind of sand it down. Cool. So. A lot more legitimate, seems a lot more real now. Obviously, it's been kind of real for a long time, and we've just heard lots of rumors all over the place. I don't know when the Steam Deck 3 is happening, or not Steam Deck 2, I guess, because the OLED I was kind of hesitant to. The Steam Deck 2, whenever that happens, I got to assume it'll be announced at the end of the year.
Oh, you think we're getting it that soon?
It came out in 2022. I think it gets announced at the end of the year sometime and maybe comes out in 2026. Now, a lot of the prices of chips and stuff like that is really going to fuck up this whole issue. So we'll see how all this shakes out. But yeah, I mean, looking at that handheld, that screen was massive, Blessing.
Yeah.
That screen was huge.
I'm about it.
But I'm tired of all those huge things. I want small news.
Small things.
Says the tiniest news I need to know about. Where would I go find it, Blessing?
You go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
Last story in Wii News. Split Fiction has sold 4 million copies. Well, I don't know why I'm expecting this game to have sold like 1 billion by now. I think it's because of It Takes Two.
Yeah. It Takes Two, I think, got to like 20 million.
And this hasn't even been out for that long.
I was going to say, it's only been out for a couple. Like, this 4 million
is a fantastic
for this kind of
number.
game is fucking great.
Also, by the way, I looked further and deeper into Hollow Knight sales.
Yeah.
And they're way past 3 million.
Where are they at now?
There's no definitive thing, but they were at 3 million.
Like 2020, I believe.
They were at 3 million about 6 years ago or something like that.
No way, it's been that long. Fuck, time flies.
Yeah.
Holy shit. God
and
damn.
So, with all the sales that happen, and also, fun fact I looked up last night, Hollow Knight is the 19th most reviewed game on Steam. Of all the video games on Steam,
really?
The 19th most reviewed.
You sound like when video game companies try to like make up stats to make their games sound like they're the most popular thing.
I just want you to take it serious.
They're like the first 5 days.
You're not taking the Hollow Knight serious.
The first 5-day sales of this game, it makes it the highest, fastest selling action RPG frog game of the last two months.
It is the best selling RPG in the Courtney Cortez household. It's got like 480,000 reviews, which is kind of fucking crazy. So put some respect on Hollow Knight, Blessing. I don't like the fucking shit talking you've been doing. Former Probably Monsters devs have established a new studio called Zun Zun Studios.
Wow.
Zun Zun Studios.
Zun Zun.
I had another little news article that I submitted. This comes from Famitsu. And it's all in Japanese, so I'm translating it to English. But there was like a From Software event, From Software Fest. I don't know what the fuck it was. But they showed off the Tarnished edition of Elden Ring coming to Switch and the other consoles.
We talked about this yesterday.
With the new classes?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that. God damn. My bad.
I mean, you can talk about it again if you want.
I mean, 2 classes. It's exciting.
I mean, it's super exciting, yeah.
Yeah, new armors, new things like that. It's very exciting. I'm pumped. I didn't watch the show yesterday. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'd like to apologize. That's it for Wii News.
Wow, we really reacted to GTA 6 and you didn't watch that.
I was looking at photos. I was looking at the photos that Kevin was scrolling through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was driving
There's
in. When
good
that was,
photos.
I was driving in when that was happening. That game looks kind of crazy, huh?
That game looks insane.
Most
insane game this side of the Mississippi.
Let's get to some super chats from all you fine folk, as well as the You're Wrongs. Alex Frazier with a $5 super chat says, just link the audience to Vati videos in the subtitles. That's not a bad idea. CJ Splits on with a $2 super chat says, do you think GTA 6 will harm the gamer industry?
The gamer industry?
No.
Because that's different from the games industry.
Yeah.
Because we're the gamer industry.
Yeah. GTA 6 will only help because it will remind people that you got to pay big money for a big, cool game. And that will further reinforce. And granted, a lot of normies out there are paying $80 or 70 for Madden or 60 for EAFC or whatever the fuck sports games, right? But the normies will remember, oh shit, that's right. The GTA 6 is coming out, and it's set. Also, did we kind of manifest us as a? I feel like the media manifested these price increases for GTA. I feel like
that's what I'm saying.
It was never a thing until people were like, "I bet you this game gets more expensive."
No, there was an article from analysts saying that games companies are hoping that GTA 6 is going to end up being like $90.
I feel like we spoke it into existence. Like we perpetrated
we do
that
keep
shit.
talking about it.
And the more like the devs read about this news, or they're like publishers are like, oh shit, man, people are expecting this. This is great. Like, keep on talking about these.
Yeah. To be fair, this did start from analysts. Like this wasn't like a media.
And I think we kind of joked about it,
anal.
like once or twice in the last few years. But then once Mario Kart went to 80. I think that's when people were like, "Well, if a Mario Kart's going to be $80, how much is a GTA going to be?" You know?
But the Mario Kart price rise happened way after any sort of GTA price rise. Like
I'm looking at an article from GameSpot from March 6th. GTA 6 costing $100 could reward players too. Analysts argue. It's always the analysts. And we just read
they could reward the players.
But dude, I'm seeing like I feel like at the
don't
end,
worry about the first part of the article. Just worry about the part where it's the analysts. Let's all blame the analysts for starting these conversations.
The analysts are like, it being more expensive is going to reward the players.
I mean, do you want me to read the full article?
No,
I feel like in the year 2024, we were already talking about, will this game be more expensive? Oh shit, if they may charge more for this. This game's it's been in production forever, you know?
See, this is my thing, is I feel like this is very much the Spider-Man meme of everybody pointing at each other. Cause like we were talking about this yesterday. We had like a whole segment talking about the price of GTA 6 on our KFGD yesterday. And like that conversation came from a super chat that asked us about the could GTA 6 could the $100 price point be justified? Right. And so really it's y'all.
Yeah, it is y'all.
It's the audience.
Chat.
Y'all started that conversation. And then I saw people in chat being mad that we're speaking it into existence. And we're just like, yo, we're responding to y'all's super chat that stemmed from the conversations from the analysts. Remember, it all comes back to the analysts. What side of Mississippi are you on?
Yeah.
We're all on the west side because the earth is round.
The earth is round.
The earth is round.
Questions finally answered.
Open your third eye.
$10 super chat from Jake Collado says, birthday tax, thanks for presenting the news and making the average workday go a bit faster. You guys are all awesome. Cheers, lads. Happy birthday, Jake. I don't know why SnowBikeMike has not birthday super chatted.
Yeah, where's his birthday super
SnowBikeMike,
chat?
if you want to send in a super chat for your birthday tax, we'll greatly appreciate that.
Oh, I did want to answer we got on a tangent, but to the GTA 6 will it harm the games industry? I think it'll be both. I think it's in some ways it's going to harm, but in some ways it's going to help. I think it'll harm in the way that it's going to be another Roblox. It's going to be another Fortnite. It's going to be probably a bigger one of those.
But people are paying for it. That's my thing. That like people are paying premium dollar for a premium product, and will hopefully be reminded you got to pay money for fucking awesome games.
And that's where I come around on the other thing, because I still do think that like it's going to be a black hole game in the sense of, all right, there's going to be less bandwidth of people playing other games in the midst of GTA 6, and I think that's going to be ongoing for a decade somewhat. But on the flip side, I think, like you're going to have more people on gaming platforms because GTA 6 attracts not only the gamers, but it attracts the mainstream audience. And I think the more that you can have the mainstream audience on gaming platforms to then like maybe peruse through the PlayStation store, maybe peruse through the Steam store when it comes to PC and all that shit, right? Like, I think having more active players that aren't like actively on the platforms is a good thing, because you're at the end of the day, video games are competing with other video games, but they're also competing with TikTok, and they're also competing with YouTube and streaming and all these other things, a lot of the people that would have spent that free time just on TikTok, now they will be playing GTA 6, and hopefully that is gonna reconfirm the thing of, oh, I can spend money on video games. But I think even more so, just have them on the platform and see those advertisements to be like, oh man, the Split Fiction game looks cool. Maybe I should check this out. Maybe I should play Death Stranding 2 or whatever. Like the games are out by then.
It's a very, very pertinent super chat from Lucid Dream, who says, "Blessed started with the $1,200 Tears of the Kingdom."
And listen, y'all want me to speak from my heart or not? All right,
I'm trying to be honest with you all.
If Metal Gear Solid 6 came out tomorrow for $1,500, I'm paying the money.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. Listen, how much would I spend on a vacation across the world?
Metal Gear Solid 6 without Kojima? That's crazy.
Well, no, in this hypothetical, it would be Kojima. Yeah,
okay.
He's finishing Chapter 3 of Metal Gear Solid 5 and connecting the dots and remaking Metal Gear in like the new engine.
The Frog Knight super chat at $2 and says, "I only play frog type games." Flying Penguins with $2 super chat says, "What's a frog type banana game?" Wanted me to say the word banana.
I like hearing you say the word banana.
Norman gave a $5 super chat and says, "Could not care less about yet another multiplayer studio. Had they not just been paying attention the last few years?"
Would you rather this or
Fair Games?
Sucker Punch turn into a multiplayer studio and Insomniac turn into a multiplayer studio and Naughty Dog turn into a multiplayer studio? I think this is a better
They almost all
outcome.
did that.
And they almost all did that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're definitely right on about that. I do have people that are super passionate about this. You go do that over there.
Yeah.
We'll give you a new thing. We'll fund it.
We'll
whatever
fund
the
your
hell.
studio. We'll do that. And this is also a spinoff of Bungie. You know what I mean? Like Bungie wasn't about to make Ghost of Tsushima 3 or something.
Yeah. $5 super chat from Snug says, "Finally watching live while vacationing in Ireland and had to take a break from castles to watch y'all and hear the news." Man, you're doing so much cool shit. You keep looking at cool ass castles. I want to look at castles in real life.
Let's go. We can do that.
You could like.
Everybody went to Helsinki last week. We could have been with them. I don't know if there's castles in Helsinki, but it sounds
There
like a
probably
place that
are.
has
Come on.
castles. Yeah.
You're gonna tell me the word that Helsinki doesn't have a castle in it? That's crazy.
1000%, yeah.
You can also rent out these castles as hotels. You know that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like cool hotels you could sort of sleep in. But I want like room service probably sucks when you think about it.
In a castle? Oh man, they treat you like royalty in there.
Yeah, but they don't got they don't have a bar with wings, you know. Like,
Oh, they got to.
I'm trying to
They
get
got-
I'm trying to get a Coke Zero.
They just hand you full glasses of rum. It's like, all right, guess I'm drinking this.
Everybody, thank you so much for sending your super chats and helping keep the lights and mics on. Thank you for supporting us monetarily and visually and auditorily.
Yeah.
You're listening with your ears, and that helps us out a lot. You're wrong. We have a you're wrong from Mr. K-Rub, who says Star Wars was heavily influenced by Akira Kurosawa's The Hidden Fortress, which was a Western-style samurai film. And Bander says, using nothing more than a Wikipedia article, I think Simone Biles is east of the Mississippi. She's married to Jonathan Owen, who plays for the Chicago Bears, so they probably live near Chicago, which is east of the Mississippi.
Bander is a flat earther. Confirmed.
Wow.
Wow.
Damn.
It all goes
Wow.
around.
That's crazy.
We're all west of the Mississippi. The earth is round. Go get educated, Bander.
This has been Kind of
your
Funny
ass.
Games Daily. Each and
Got
every
your
weekday,
ass.
we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with a Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. I'm checking to see if these super chats came in from Snowbike Mike for his birthday tax. He did! Snowbike Mike, $5 super chat. He didn't leave a message. Maybe he didn't know how to leave a message.
Happy birthday,
But
Snowbike
thank you for
Mike.
the $5 super chat from Snowbike Mike. Happy birthday, Snowbike Mike. You're the best of us. If you love what we do, support us with a membership, and enjoy the Gamescast next, where we're going to be spoilering and breaking down Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Wow.
And after that, a cool stream. Return to Pokemon Nuzlocke. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.